doing a repair on the unit. It actually has the metering device. There's something wrong with it. The refrigerant's free flowing. So we're gonna take the system apart and see if there is a piston in it. Maybe they didn't put one in, or maybe it's just stuck in place. First thing we're going to do is pump down the system by closing the high side valve, and then we watch these pressures. Hopefully we don't overheat the compressor. You have to hold down the contactor, otherwise the low pressure switch will shut everything down. Okay, so we're going to try and get this as low as we can on the suction. You start to hear the plates start to like rub together inside the compressor, and you got to catch it before it actually overheats the compressor. I think that's about as low as we're getting. Shut off the low side valve, turn off the power, then we can take out the rest of the 410A. Now we're going to be vacuuming the system. We checked the piston, we replaced the piston. The pressure still wasn't right. I told them to let it hang out for a day, see what happened. Here's what I got. Basically the same kind of situation. It looks like it's free flowing almost, because my low side is so high. But what I think is actually going on, I think it's either the compressor is not compressing right, or the reversing valve's bad and bypassing. I'm leaning more towards the reversing valve is actually bypassing. Okay, so we're going to be replacing a reversing valve on this unit. We already checked the piston. It seemed like it was metering, like there was no piston in it, or like the piston was stuck. So we took it apart, made sure it was fine. We even replaced the piston. We still got the same deal going on where our low pressure is just too high. We have almost no superheat, and our subcooling is like 6 or 7, something like that. So what we're going to do is replace the reversing valve because it looks like hot gas is getting passed. Now you're going to need a few basic things to do a reversing valve. I'm going to show you what you need. You need a filter dryer. You got to install one of these after you do the repair. You're going to need some thermal sink or some heat trap to put around the reversing valve. You're going to need the reversing valve, some brazing rods. 15% is better than 5, but I have 5. You're going to need channel locks, 1 or 2, some towels, a water bottle. I like to use a turbo torch, not oxy acetylene, but turbo torch, and a vacuum pump. So you're going to take the top off, and you want to make sure to get all the wires out of the way you possibly can so you don't burn them by mistake. had to cut these because I couldn't get any one of them out because of how they put it into the unit. So it's okay to cut these as long as you cut them in a spot where you can reconnect them with couplers. And then I'm applying thermal trap right now to keep the valve cool. Because that's the most important part of this whole job, is making sure this valve stays cool. Alright, so I got the reversing valve in. It was a little tougher than I originally thought because they had the big tubes on the bottom. If they're on the top, you can pull the tubes out one by one, but I had to cut 2 of the tubes, and I cut them strategically so that I could get couplers to connect them back up. Then I took those pipes and I put them back on the new reversing valve, put it all back together with some couplers. Not the way I generally like to do it, but I didn't have the space to pull the tubes away and pull the reversing valve off. Alright, so this was a long job. It was a reversing valve. Look at those pressures. I charged this per the superheat chart. It should be at about 20, but I'm just going to stop right here. It's pretty close. My low side is a lot better. I got good subcooling. This unit's good. I'm happy.